It's a fine line of knowing that you always have to be working for the next deal and taking care of your people.
Thanks for joining us on Outside the Box, where we talk actionable strategies that help you generate more repeat, referral, and SOI business. Referrals don't happen by accident, they happen on purpose. For those who don't know, my name is Chad Armbruster, CEO of BizBox, and alongside me, as always, is my co-host, full-time realtor, and son, Justin Armbruster.
Today, we have Rachelle Peters with Genesis Realtors joining us all the way from Topeka, Kansas. Rachelle has been helping buyers and sellers in the Topeka area since 2005. She has sold over 675 homes and has sold over $70 million in sales volume. Rachelle, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us, how did you get into the real estate business?
Well, I bought my first house at 19 and my second one at 21. And I just kind of had this thing with real estate where I just was always watching the houses that were coming up for sale and selling, and just always had a passion for it, even though I had a full-time job somewhere else. I started buying rentals at 27. And when I had about 10 of them, and I think I was 31, I just quit my job and started doing it full-time just because it was, I don't know, I've always been drawn to it.
So you said you quit your job. What did you do before real estate?
I did graphic design work and marketing.
Oh,
that checks out.
So, yeah.
So you think there's a lot of overlap between, or a little bit of overlap between what you did before and real estate, or it's come in handy at all?
It came in handy because my first couple years, I had Photoshop and Illustrator and everything on my laptop from my old job. And so I spent a lot of time creating my own material and working postcards, sending them out for sell by owner contacts. And I spent a lot of time designing my own product. So I was able to utilize that, and it was pretty successful the first couple years. I really picked up a lot of business from mailers. So that helped.
Yeah. So you were investor turned agent, not agent turned investor.
Right.
Nice. Exciting.
Which is different, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's different than probably most people. Most people sell real estate, then get into it themselves later on. Some don't at all. I know a lot of realtors who refuse to buy rentals because they feel like it's a conflict or something with their investor clients or something.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, something I found out afterwards was I enjoyed selling so much that when my rentals would become vacant, or, I had issues to deal with or vacancies, I was too busy selling to deal with the rentals. I didn't enjoy it near as much. And so I ended up selling off most all of them, and I've kept one for my daughter. So, it's kind of weird. I probably shouldn't have done that, but when the crash came, I sold 9 of them and regret that now. But I just enjoyed going out and trying to sell houses a lot more than finding tenants and fixing up properties. So
yeah, almost anyone who sells.
Most people accumulate them, and I downsized after becoming a realtor.
Yeah. Almost anyone who sells their rental will regret it. It's just the best time to buy a rental is 10 years ago, and the best time to sell it is 10 years after you did. It's just always how it works.
Exactly.
So, Rachelle, what I was wondering is, what's the one habit or routine that's helped consistently you stay in front of your SOI and generate repeat and referral business?
I've been doing this for almost 20 years. So what I did 20 years ago is different from what I do now, but I would say over the last 5 to 7 years, I've really been putting myself out there more in front of my clients. One of my favorite things to do is pop buys every time that there's a special occasion. that I can think of, whether it's the Chiefs making it to the Super Bowl, which I thought would be a one-time pop by, and it's become a multiple-time pop by, putting together little packages and dropping them off. When mums come out, I might deliver mums, but doing pop buys for my clients so I can actually get in front of them and talk to them versus just what I used to do for many years was just mailers. So I've become more personable, or, getting more in touch with my clients, I feel like, as time goes on. So that's evolved a little bit over the years.
Let me ask you this about your Popeyes. Do you enjoy doing them?
I love them.
You love doing Popeyes. I hate doing them. I don't know why. Everyone who I'll do them to, whether I'm dropping off Christmas goodies around the holiday time or whatever it is, they're all clients. So it's not like it should be weird. I don't like doing it. And I think it's because it's an unexpected. I mean, it's what it is. It's a pop by. It's unexpected, and I feel like I'm bothering them. For maybe someone like me or an agent like me who doesn't like doing Popeyes, do you have some encouragement on getting out there more? Not only do you do them, you like doing it.
Right. I don't like to be a bother to my people. I don't like calling people. I don't like interrupting them. But with my pop buys, I generally do that for very recent clients, not somebody I haven't talked to for 5 years. It's people that I've had recent referrals from or recent sales. And so they still like me. They're missing me a little bit. I'm missing them a little bit. So it's just a nice, quick touch. If I just popped in on somebody I haven't talked to in 5 to 10 years, that would be awkward. But I try and also make it pretty limited. I don't try and do, 50 or 100 at a time. It might be 10 or 20 over the course of a couple days. And they're pretty fresh relationships, 1 to 2 years. And I make it very quick. I don't try to be intrusive, and I don't always get to meet them. But yeah, if you try and do too many at one time, I could see why you would dislike it. Or if it's somebody you haven't talked to for a long time, it would be a little bit uncomfortable, but I do try and keep it with, especially people that I know would be happy to see me. That's always a good thing.
Yeah. You set yourself up for success there. Yeah, that's good.
That's right.
So you said, if you ask me now versus before, so I have a question then. What are some of the common mistakes that you see realtors making when trying to grow their real estate business?
What I hear from clients, not my clients, other people's clients.
Not yours.
Or people, other people's clients, or like just people coming to open houses. It's kind of crazy that they don't remember what their agent's name was. Or, I'm sure, Justin, you've done open houses, and who are you working with?
Right.
And it's a really tall guy. He drives a red truck, and his company sign it's blue, and then I can piece together who their agent is, but they can't put their name together with who they're working with or who they bought with. And I think sometimes mistakes that agents make are trying to just constantly keep working deals, the next deal. And you get somebody under contract, you send them to the bank. The banker says everything's going smooth, and you or they forget about them until about a week before closing, because you're out showing the next house. You're trying to do the next deal. And I think that the mistake is you have these agents have their clients who really need nurtured throughout the process from start to finish. We as agents, we are familiar with the process. We are always working with multiple people, and we forget that the client that we have under contract is sitting at home for 30 or 60 days, kind of just wondering. And if they don't hear from you, then they feel abandoned or ignored, or, they just don't really know what's going on. So I think that's a mistake a lot of people make, is just not every few days checking in, even if it's going perfectly. and there's no need to really check in for 30 or 40 days. We think, we know as agents, it's not a problem to not talk to our clients for weeks at a time because everything's smooth. But from their perspective, they're buying one house and all they know is what's happening with them. And if they're not hearing from their agent, they went out, they looked at a house one time, 2 times, wrote an offer, and then they don't hear from them. There's no connection that these agents make. And then when the deal's done, there's really nothing for them to talk about how great their agent was. And so I think nurturing the buyers or sellers throughout the process with check-ins, even if it's just hey, 7 days till closing, or do you need moving boxes? Don't forget to change your utilities. Don't forget to change your Amazon accounts or all your online accounts. I try to purposely make those type of reminders to my people throughout the process so they know that I'm thinking of them, and it helps them along the way to know what they're doing. So
I think that's
original question.
Yeah, I think that's super important. A couple years ago, I had a client who it was a pretty easy deal. We got through inspections and through the appraisal real quick, and we had about 2 or 3 weeks till closing. And I didn't do a great job of checking in. So we get to the day before closing, we get to closing, and he just made the comment. He goes, "Yeah, we hadn't heard from you in a while. I guess we just assumed no news is good news." And I'm like, even though that's true, it's like, yeah, I'll let you know if we have a problem. It's like, I should have just been checking in, every week. Hey, things are going good, moving right along, versus just leaving them up to stare at the Zillow pictures for the next 3 weeks on what's going to be their $350,000 biggest purchase of their life.
Right.
So,
and sometimes real estate transactions aren't always happy. There's all sorts of reasons why this transaction's going on. It could be divorce or death. There's all sorts of situations. And so I always feel that people might need contact or, communication for different purposes too. It's not always happy, joy. And, we're to be there for them, I feel, throughout the whole process, and not forget who is using us, and take care of them very well, versus constantly be thinking about the next showing. What can I get under contract? And it's a fine line of knowing that you always have to be working for the next deal and taking care of your people who you have deals with, giving everybody the attention they need.
Yeah, especially when you're thinking through one client. It's not a transaction. This could be a lifelong referral source. And so, sending those extra texts, reminding them about utilities, making the process just a little bit easier and less stressful, that could be where your next deal comes from if you do it right.
Right. And if you don't do anything for them, they don't have anything to share or say. So that's what I think the mistake is just really forgetting to take care of who they're working with. And that shows when a year later somebody goes to sell their house and they don't remember what agent they bought with the year before. So that would be my answer for that.
I'd not thought of the Amazon. Make sure you change your Amazon one. That's good. I also love the Ren and Stimpy reference that you gave there with happy, joy. I doubt Justin knows anything about that.
I didn't even know what it was from. I just knew I had heard it.
It's from the cartoon. I used to watch it in college. Happy, joy. Anyway.
And you'd be surprised with the Amazon deliveries. It will be year 3, especially this time of year. I always try and tell people, hey, please make sure you do it, because you're going to be calling me November 30th or December 10th. My kids' Christmas presents got delivered to the old house. And I will tell you, every year, it will be people from 2 years ago, sometimes 3. I've had them that far out that, oh, shoot, I ordered something and the Christmas package is going to the wrong house. So, and I do try to tell the stories too. I don't just say, hey, do this. I like to incorporate, hey, I say this because multiple times, this has happened, and Christmas presents show up at the wrong place. The deal didn't go well. Oh, I had one where the deal didn't go great. Not my part, but the crazy other person's buyer, there was about $800 worth of product delivered from a business to the house, and they kind of held it hostage for a while. So it's so important to get it changed. And so I do try to, instead of just telling people, hey, just do this, sometimes I throw in a few little stories.
Anecdotes. Yeah. So is there anything unique that you do to generate referrals or new business from your database that other realtors might not think of?
Yeah, there are some unique things that I have tried to incorporate. One of them is actually...
But before we get into that, as you know, the Outside the Box podcast is all about repeat and referral business. And great realtors know the key is serving their clients.
At BizBox, we believe your marketing should do the same. BizBox branded moving boxes are marketing that serves your clients when they need it most.
Printed on 2 sides, packed with valuable supplies, and delivered directly to your clients, BizBoxes are permanent branding that keeps you top of mind long after the move.
With packages starting at just 5 boxes and free design setup, there's a solution for every budget. Visit bizboxinc.com, click free setup, and create unforgettable marketing in minutes.
Stand out with BizBox while your competitors end up in the trash. Now, back to the show.
For our entire company, I feel like we rely so much on our clients and appreciate them so much for referrals and word of mouth. And in general, I know our company, but I love working with my people. And I thought one great way to show that appreciation, I got mail. I put together a client pool party for our whole company, and we have, I don't know, Justin, what all do we have? We have face painters, balloon makers.
Pool party like at someone's house, or?
Oh no, the client pool party, the Genesis pool party. We get the entire pool for
like a local park pool?
Yep.
Nice.
A public pool for an hour and a half, and because that's the only time frame they have. And we have food, face painters, balloon makers. We give away prizes. We order a bunch of swag. And so for the past 3 years, that's been incorporated. And it's a great way to say thank you to our clients and to get face-to-face, because you can only do so many mailers, the yearly calendars or football magnets showing up.
Only so many Popeyes are acceptable.
Right. We're only going to win the Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl so many times. You got to have other things in your back pocket. But that's something that has become very, very popular with our company.
So pool party, how many people typically show up for your company? How many of your clients usually come? I'm sure it depends on the agent. And then what does that roughly cost to put together?
So the first year we did it, I think our company maybe had 11 agents. And that first year, I think we had 200 to 300 people show up.
Wow.
I think maybe I had 4 sets of families the first year. And then the second and third years, both we had close to 500 people showing up, plus the agents. And our company has about 20 realtors at the time. We have, have like 25, 26 now, but at the time of the pool party, we had 20. And each year, everybody who comes back, because it's been such a success. They want to come back. And I think it's tripled for me. I don't send out a ton. My mailing list isn't huge. My mailing list is my real clients. It's not just everybody I know. So it's pretty small, but I think that I get probably about 20% of my people showing up, and it's great. It's great face to face. It's a great way to say thank you and just show appreciation. And that's something that I've wanted to do for years. Just where I was at before, it didn't work out. And then when I came to Genesis and talked to the owners, they were like, do it. We all believe in that type of system. Let's see what happens. And It was very scary the first time because it could have been nobody showing up, but it went well. I think that the total cost is around $5,000, but a lot could be cut out. If somebody wanted to do this on their own, it doesn't have to cost that much. We spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars in company swag. We could give kids ices and snow cones or, ice cream sandwiches from the store, but we bring in the icy machine, a company in town that brings them in, and we probably pay 5 times what the cost would be if we just got frozen popsicles from somewhere else. But, yeah, $5,000. If we wanted to cut out some, easily do it for $3,000. I would assume.
Yeah, but even $5,000, if you have, 10, 15, 20 agents who all go in together, I mean, that's pennies. If you get to see, 10, 15, 20 of your past clients all in one night, and they're actually excited to be there. Like, it's not like a pop by where I'm going to them and I feel like maybe I'm inconveniencing them or, popping by when they don't want me to. It's like they're coming to me on purpose because they want to be here and they want to talk to me. I mean, that's so worth it.
Right. And I think that we get such a good turnout because I'm kind of a frugal person, and when I was thinking of this idea, I was thinking, what can we provide that's of value? And I have a 13-year-old, so she would have been 9 at the time. For the 3 of us to go to the swimming pool was over $20. It was like $22 to $23. You'll find out someday, if you have kids. Take them to the pool. You spend $23. They're there for 45 minutes and you're out the door. And I thought, what a better way, especially with our clients who have 2 or 3 kids. I mean, there's value to what this is. It's not inviting people over to sit on a bench and have a sandwich or, swing by an office and shake a hand. It's value. It's dinner for the family. It's a night out. There is a true value there that, especially people with 4 and 5 kids. I mean, it's way different from when I went to the pool. My parents could buy me a $30 pass and I'd swim the whole season. Now, $30 a day to just pop in. So I think that's one reason too, that it's been such a success, is that we do provide something that people want to attend. The kids love it. Kids cry when they leave. They don't want to go home. And so it's a pretty special event. And I think all of the agents who participate really enjoy doing it. And hopefully we can keep doing it.
Yeah. And you said most of this speaks to, I guess, the value of that event. Most of your clients come back the next year?
Yeah. Wow. I've pretty much everybody who's ever, it's the same attendees each year, and then we add a few, scheduling. Sometimes somebody doesn't
sure
make it, but yeah. And they let me know. They're bummed when they can't make it, but it's
now, is that
hopefully it just continues that way and just grows and grows.
Is that the type of event that could be, subsidized or co-branded at all with like vendors, or do the agents pay for the full?
Yeah, we do have vendors sponsor our event, and they, pitch in a little bit here and there. And we have multiple vendors. We have, all of us use all the different title companies, a lot of lenders, and everybody is happy to participate. And so it's very, very little cost for the company and agents.
Really?
Do this.
So it's,
I don't know if we want to share that information.
Well, I mean, it's good. It's good information to know, if someone's trying to replicate something like this, and, maybe they don't have, it sounds like, your office is, super close. If they don't have an office maybe like yours where, we all have coworkers, ask 10 of your co-working agents, share or in the same office. Hey, we want to all go in on something like this. It's roughly going to cost, $5,000. If we could get, 10 vendors at, $250 a piece to sponsor, whether that be the postcard invite or a banner, or maybe set up a tent while they're there and pass out koozies. Mm-hmm. Now you're talking $2,500 to the agents, $250 an agent. I I mean, what an awesome, not only great chance to see past clients, but it just looks really good on your company too. When you have that many people show up, and if you have clients who are all coming together for the same thing, I mean, what a hit.
Yeah, it's a great thing. I'm so happy that the company here supported the idea, because it's been great.
So, Rachelle, if you had to start over today, what would be your top priority for building a strong network of repeat and referral clients?
Oh, I think this is the one that I struggled with you on,
If
Justin.
you're moving to California and you are trying to get cracked into that business, what are you going to do to start over to get plugged in?
I have to buy nicer clothes, nicer car. I would probably be more social. I'm a pretty antisocial person. If you're around me and I'm around you, you would never know it, but I dread going to events. I've been asked to go to so many BNI events or join clubs over the years and never did that. Going back, I probably would have made myself a little more social, if I could change one thing. But
that's one of the best pieces of advice that I got when I was first getting into the business is, I'm a young guy, and so I love doing my Facebook and my digital stuff. I had an experienced agent come knock on my office door, and I'd been hunkered down behind my laptop for the past 4 hours doing whatever I was doing, and he said, "You have to get out of the office." Comes knocking in, he goes, "I don't want to overstep, but you got to get out of here, because if all you're doing is hiding behind a computer, you are not seeing people, and you're not going to be growing your business. Because I don't care what kind of ads you think you're running, go see someone." Go text your best friend and grab coffee today. Go see a high school friend you haven't seen in a while. And that was the best piece of advice I ever got. So if I'm ever in the office for too long, I think of that moment and like, I got to get out of here. I got to go see someone. Got to be more social.
yeah.
So what do you think is the key to turning a one-time client into a lifelong referral source?
I think that treating the client as if they're your only client is one of the best things you can do to earn a referral down the road, because they have one experience. I may have multiple experiences a month. An agent may have their best year ever, but if all they concentrate on is how many sales they did and how much they sold, if they were just so busy working their business that they forgot to treat everybody like they're their only client, they may get no referrals from that year, So it is one of those things where we have to remember that it's one experience for our client, even though we have 5 or 6 other experiences with other people going on at one time. My clients, I try to make them feel like they are my only client. When they're texting and calling me, no matter what it is, they're getting a response right away. They're not going to wait a day to hear from me. They're not going to wait 5 hours to get an answer. They are going to believe they are my only client. And they may be at the time. But if I have 4 or 5 deals going on, they're not going to ever feel like they're an inconvenience or I'm putting somebody else above them. So I think that is the key, is, giving them an experience to talk about to other people. When they hear from another person that their agent never talked to them after they went under contract, or they really never heard from them, but then they hear, my people are able to say, hey, she contacted me multiple times. She sent me moving boxes. She made sure that I was changing my utilities. She was giving me, 7-day texts, 48-hour text, just cheering me along the whole way. I hope my people can, and they may never know what kind of experience they're getting versus somebody else, but I hope that making them feel like they're the only one will, and I think it works. My people usually like me, but that's what I try to do. And, give them a good experience, because it should be special. And if it's not a happy situation, it should be, they should feel walked through, and I try to do my best.
I think that's a mistake a lot of realtors make when talking to either their clients or just the general, public. When someone asks, how you doing? It's an agent's natural response to flex that they're really busy. How's business? Oh, so busy. Yeah, I can barely keep my head above water. And I think that's some of the biggest downfall, to tell a client that, or the general public that. I try and keep in my business, I try and keep the approach that my clients need to know I am busy enough that I'm capable to handle any real estate transaction that they want to refer or give to me. I'm capable, but I'm not too busy for it. Someone asks me how's business, or if a client texts me and says, hey, just checking in, how you doing? It's, I'm doing good. Work's busy. It works good. How can I help? Instead of, it's easy just to flex that, you're super busy, when that you could be missing out on a ton of deals and referrals because they think you're too busy or you're too stressed out to take on a new client.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So can you think of or share your biggest referral success story and what you believe contributed to that success?
Okay. So this is what I believe happened. Okay. I don't know what, from the buyer's perspective, seller's perspective, but I had an idea for a pop by for Nurses Day. Dillon's has the best cinnamon rolls in town, hands down, no matter what anybody says. And I decided for Nurses Day, I was going to deliver some cinnamon rolls. So I print off my list of go through and pick out who I know are nurses. And when I realized where some of my clients were located, I remembered that I had helped a realtor friend who's no longer a realtor and no longer in our area, with one of her clients. And I never sold her a house, but I was involved in some of the purchasing of one, even though I wasn't her agent. So she was never truly my client. She was on my mailing list for a while, 15 years. And I'm like, I'm going to add her to my list. She's there, and gave her cinnamon rolls. 2 weeks later, I get a message that somebody wanted to sell a house, and their coworker, who was a nurse, referred her. And sure enough, because I didn't know at the time, there was 7 or 8 that were in that same building, and it was this. I don't know if I want to say her name. I mean, her name was Robin. Sure enough, it was Robin, and her friend bought and sold a house. She bought my biggest sale ever, sold a house. Her friend referred her mother, who sold a house, bought land, has listed her house. So it's $2.8 million in volume in less than 3 years.
From a batch of cinnamon rolls?
$5 batch of cinnamon rolls. Now, maybe this would have happened from my football magnets and those mailers, and it just so happened that 15 years after being on my mailing list, she had somebody to refer to me. But the fact that it happened a couple weeks after dropping off those cinnamon rolls, I will always drop off cinnamon rolls on nurses.
I think that's an absolutely incredible story. So I think it's a great idea. You could do so much with that, to be honest. It isn't whatever, National Accountants Day or whatever. Right. I mean, I just think, and so you gave those cinnamon rolls, not just to Robin, not just to them, but you brought it just a bunch in, and her and her friends all shared. Is that what it was?
I'm sure they shared. There was a dozen. So I doubt they each ate all of them themselves. Maybe they took them home, but yeah. And some of the nurses I wouldn't see because they were on their shift, but some of them I was able to, but just put a label on there, Happy Nurses Day, and my business card. And it actually, I would say, of all the ones that I'm friends with on Facebook, I'm not friends with all my clients on Facebook, but they'd pop it up on their stories. Topeka ER, I drop them off over there, and they always post the Rachelle Peters, cinnamon roll drop off on their page. So that's kind of nice.
Well, I think what's even cooler,
and appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I think it's even cooler is, correct me if I'm wrong, Robin wasn't even your client. Robin wasn't even someone who had bought and sold with you previously. It was just a relationship that you knew of and that she would appreciate it. And this is what happens.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I had worked with her a little bit, filling in while her realtor, was doing something. And, so I knew of her through my friend.
Sure. She was familiar with you. There was some back and forth, but it wasn't like, you'd made any money off of Robin. You just knew, hey, she'd appreciate this. She's a nurse, would love to provide value in that way. That's super cool.
Yeah.
All right, Rachelle, we like to end our time with some rapid fire questions that we're going to hit you with. The first response that comes to your head, fire it back. So let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Zillow, realtor.com, or homes.com. Which do you tell a client to use or that you use?
I would tell them to use Zillow.
Zillow.
As much as I hate Zillow.
That might be a controversial pick. We'll have to see.
User-friendly. It's so user-friendly. I just tell them don't click a button.
It's the worst. I was such an anti-Zillow guy until I was looking to buy my personal house. Mm-hmm. And as a licensed realtor who has access to the MLS, I still found myself using Zillow. So maybe not controversial. Office or home office?
Office.
Office. You're an office person. Instagram.
I was a home office.
You were a home office, but you transitioned?
I home officed at the last company, and I love to sit around the house and do nothing. But when I come here to the office, we're always learning from each other, and it's engaging. So I'm back to being an office person.
Love it. Love it. Instagram or Facebook?
Facebook.
Podcast or book?
Podcast.
Audiobook or podcast?
Podcast.
What is the most impactful podcast that you listen to? Because you're not a book person as much.
Outside the Box.
Beautiful. Nice. And we didn't have to pay for that either. That was a unfiltered plug. What is an underrated app that you have on your phone, personal or business?
Block Blast.
Block Blast. Yeah, you and all the middle school and high schoolers.
Yeah, let me see. The Texas Roadhouse app, because then I can get on the wait list and not have to wait. There you go. I
love it. The Texas Roadhouse app. Love it. Finally, if a listener wanted to refer a client to you, what areas do you serve and what would be the best way for them to get in touch with you?
I do Topeka, Kansas, and the surrounding towns, Meriden, Auburn, Overbrook, anything I would say within 20, 30 miles, I can handle. Facebook, text, call, I will answer all.
I will answer your call. Perfect. Hey, Rachelle, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.